what we're doing when we compare ourselves to others, it's like we're building our own box around ourselves. And yeah, in a way, like building our own prison cell around our voice and what it's allowed to be and what we're allowed to do with it. And not only what we're allowed to do with it, but like we're setting limits for what it's capable of, for what we are capable of. I'm coming in today with a bit of tough love for you, dear artist. We're talking about comparison and what it's really robbing you of. I have 3 reasons to lay down this all too common creative block, because the truth is, it's keeping you from your best work. It's keeping you from doing what you love, and it's keeping you from singing the song that is yours alone to sing. Welcome to Reawaken Your Voice. Are you tired of pushing aside your desire to sing, only for it to resurface again and again? Hey, I'm Lainey, voice and creativity coach, singer and songwriter. If you're ready to rediscover the freedom of creative expression, free from judgment, doubt, comparison, and fear, then grab that notebook full of ideas. It's time to give voice to the songs in your heart. Let's sing. Hey friend, before we get started, I just want to take a moment to invite you to join my email list. This is where you'll get my latest podcast episode every week. You'll get updates on all the exciting things I have in store for this growing creative space and community. And not to mention, you'll get access to my free voice workshop. This will help you reconnect with your voice and reignite that creative spark, all in the comfort of your home in your own time and space. So head to reawakenyourvoice.com/workshop to join me on this wild ride of creative revival and vocal discovery. Comparing your voice, your style, your sound, your level of musicianship, your skill set, any part of what goes into your vocal artistry. It sounds a lot like, oh, I could never sound like that. I wish I could. Maybe I can, but... And then you can insert whatever excuse or form of self-doubt that is plaguing you at the moment, or that plagues you over and over again. We all have ours, right? Maybe you have a loved one, a friend, family member, spouse, even your kids, someone you admire as being so talented, so good at singing or playing an instrument or writing songs, whatever it may be, musically, artistically, creatively speaking. Maybe you see them doing their thing and you find yourself hiding in their shadows rather than stepping into your own light. Like, well, that's their thing, so I need a different thing. Growing up, I took the choral route and the traditional classical music route, and, that eventually developed into the opera path. And I saw my peers, there were some people who could do both. Like, they could do that classical thing and they could make their own music and play in bands and sing their own songs, and they did both so well. And it was like you could hear these these different vocal styles and how they complemented themselves, but were totally different. But they had, and this is the internal narrative, but they had this gift of being able to do both and live in both worlds. And I was telling myself a story through all of this. Like, well, my voice doesn't do that. My voice is good for this category, this style, but not that one. So this has a lot to do with artist identity. You know, who are you allowing yourself to be as an artist? Who are you holding yourself back from being? I told myself I would stay in my lane. You know, I need to learn how to do everything the right way and follow all the rules. And, you know, part of that was also people pleasing. You know, I wanted to do right by my teachers, and I looked up to them and I sought their approval. And that traditional classical opera route seemed to be the way. Although I also don't want to take away from the fact that I loved that music at the time, and I loved that path of learning. There's so much depth and richness that I gained through that path. But I see how I didn't allow myself the desires in my heart many times because I thought I had to do it a certain way, or my voice only fit a certain style or category, and I had to just stick with that. You know, in following that path that seemed so well laid out for me, the traditional opera path, in following that path, in a way, I abandoned another. And that was the path of the singer-songwriter in me, the finding my own creative voice and making my own music in my own way. But I was comparing myself to other people who were out there doing it, and always coming up short in my mind. It comes back to that inner narrative. It was this inner narrative of, I would love to, but I could never because, and then, you know, there's this whole slew of excuses. What are yours? Maybe some of these you can identify with, or you relate to in some way, or they resonate with you. You know, I could never do that because I'm not talented enough. I'm not skilled enough. I'm not experienced enough. I don't have this or that factor. My voice isn't this or that. My style isn't this or that. You know, fill in the blank. So what we're doing when we compare ourselves to others and in these ways is we're like carving our own mold of an artist identity that we have to fit ourselves into. It's like we're building our own box around ourselves. And yeah, in a way, like building our own prison cell around our voice and what it's allowed to be and what we're allowed to do with it. And not only what we're allowed to do with it, but like we're setting limits for what it's capable of, for what we are capable of. And what that does when we build this inner narrative, what it did for me was it stole away years of my musical life when I could have been exploring that part of myself. I could have been doing both. I could have been just out there doing it rather than thinking about it and pushing it down and wishing and longingly watching on the sidelines as opportunities passed me by. Because I limited myself, because when I compared myself to others, what I saw was that I wasn't going to measure up to what I aspired to be. And I don't want that for you. I want you to be free from that. So these 3 reasons to stop comparing yourself to others will hopefully light a fire under you to just sing anyway, to just go for the thing that your heart wants. Do it anyway. Free yourself from the comparison trap once and for all. So 3 reasons you should stop comparing yourself to others. Number 1, you're robbing yourself of the journey of self-discovery. Your voice is unique. It's one of a kind. You have a unique sound. I know this may sound cliche. Maybe you've heard it over and over again. Your voice is one of a kind. It's unique. It's only yours and yours alone. But it's true. It's true. Don't you want to find out what that is? What your voice is? It's like discovering a buried treasure or unearthing a diamond inside of you. Whatever you admire about someone else's voice, well, you have your own thing, your own unique sound in there too. Like, don't you want to find out what your voice has that's special? It's built into your design. And the adventure of finding your voice is uncovering that gem. So don't cheat yourself. Don't rob yourself of the journey of self-discovery, because there is so much richness and growth in the process of finding your voice. And that will be reflected in your music, your songs, your artistry. So really, if you're robbing yourself of that journey of self-discovery, you're also robbing yourself of the juiciness of your creativity, your music. Because all of that, it's all of these pieces of the journey that you infuse into your art that makes it what it is, that makes it unique to you. So there are no shortcuts. Number 2, you're robbing yourself of creative energy and time devoted to your art. So when you're comparing yourself, you're wasting precious time caught up in your head when you could be honing your craft, spending time actually singing, actually writing music and playing and doing what you love. It's that the practice, the being in action, doing the thing rather than thinking about doing the thing. And that starts to weigh down on your energy levels and your inspiration, your motivation. You're digging yourself deeper into this hole of, I could never actually be that person or that singer, that musician, that artist that I see inside of me. Maybe I'm just making it all up. It feels too far away, too distant. When in reality, you could be closing that gap. You could be bridging that distance. You could be coming closer, ever closer to embodying the vocal artist within. So put your head down and do the work of an artist, rather than keeping your head spinning around trying to watch what everyone else is doing, because that's how you lose your sense of individuality. That's how you lose your own voice, your own focus, your own path. When you start trying to be like others or fit into a mold, comparing yourself and always coming up short in your mind, that's how you lose your way. So save all that beautiful creative energy and put the time into infusing it into your art. Number 3, you're robbing yourself of joy. We've all heard the phrase, comparison is the thief of joy. This is stealing away the joy of creating. This is why we do it in the first place. You know, it can be one of many reasons why we do it, but there is a joy of creating for the sake of creating. You know, expressing yourself through your voice, your own unique, one-of-a-kind, God-given instrument. And when you come out of that joy of creating, it just takes the fun out of it. We want to have fun. You know, it's that joy of creating for the sake of creating, making music to express yourself, not someone else. It's the process, the journey, the challenge, and the accomplishment of like, I did that. I made that. I created that from inside of me. You know, this thing that starts off as a vision or a whisper or just a feeling inside of you. And then you bring it out through your voice and make it something that someone else can hear and connect with and feel for themselves. And you build that human connection through the process. This is the joy that you're robbing yourself of when you compare yourself to others, rather than focusing on the beauty of your unique instrument and what makes it special. So why should you stop comparing yourself to others in terms of your voice, your sound, your artistry, your musicianship? Because you're robbing yourself. Number 1, you're robbing yourself of the journey of self-discovery. Number 2, you're robbing yourself of the creative energy and time that you could be devoting to your art. And number 3, you're robbing yourself of joy, the joy of creating, the joy of singing, the joy of making music. I pray this serves as a wake-up call. You know, when you really see what comparison is stealing from you, you can choose to sing anyway, to create anyway, and to dive deeper into that journey of really uncovering what makes your voice special and why the journey is worth taking with all its ups and downs and highs and lows and ebbs and flows. Do you want to spend this life watching others live theirs and wishing you could do that too? Or do you want to get dirty and play in the mud and make something beautiful out of the clay? You know, that raw material of life. I choose the creative life. What about you? Thanks for listening, friend. If this episode moved you or inspired you in some way, would you please leave a review on Apple Podcasts or share this episode with someone who's been praying for a vocal breakthrough? Until next time, keep nurturing that song in your heart. Lots of love.